Hello and welcome to the first Sunday review. Now, as I said the other day, I will be reviewing the anime Shiki. So, where do I begin with it? I'll begin by giving a brief summary of what the anime is about. Now, I will say now, before I say anything else, this will contain a lot of spoiler alerts. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. Now, that being said, what is Shiki? Shiki is set in the small town of Sotoba. It has roughly about 1,300 residents. They still practice there on the old ways, basically. So when somebody dies, they still bury him, for instance. They don't do any sort of cremation. There is such a small town that it's not even connected to any highways or anything like that. So it is a very residential, out there town. No way in or out, basically. And people are normally born there just to stay there for the rest of their life. Some of them dream of moving to the big city, some of them have moved from the big city there, but generally not many people come or go from that town. Now, that being said, the story is set when this new family called the Kirishikis move into town. And when they move into town, people seem to start dying, starting off with 3 bodies that are found by a priest right at the very start of it. It is after that people just seem to keep dying off and dying off and dying off, and they don't really think nothing of it. The doctor originally believes it to be epidemic, but then following up on investigations, he then believes it to be not so much that, but believes it to be something more, something supernatural, something to do with a curse that has been running in the town for quite a while. That not many people really believe in it. A few people still believe in the curse, but hardly any do. Now, the reason why he believes it to be the curse is because every time that somebody dies, he seems to find what he originally believed to be insect bites on them, but then later realise it to be more like bite marks from what they have from the Shiki, which translate into English as corpse demon, which we know them more like vampires. So these people keep dying off, and the doctor keeps looking into it, keeps trying to find a way, and there is no way around it. There's no way you can find about it. So when people are staying overnight in the hospital, they're under investigation. Suddenly, after giving them blood transfusions and whatever else, they're slowly starting to get better. Because it does take a couple of days after being bitten for them to die. He slowly realises that they're feeding on them. After maybe about 4 feeds, then they'd be dead. So if he gives them blood transfusion, they're starting to get better. He's keeping them overnight, so he can monitor it. He also realises that if you don't let them into the building, then they can't come in, except for the odd 1 or 2 who are special. Now, that's where it all goes wrong, when one of these ones that are special comes in, takes one of them out, and it turns out that when you bite them, just like a mosquito bite, it has this power over you where when they bite you, they can, for instance, give you orders, tell you what to do. So nobody ever wants to stay in the hospital anymore. Everybody wants to go home, where they have easy access to get in and out of there. So he does everything he can to try and get people back into hospital, but nobody will actually stay in the hospital anymore. That being said, following that, his own wife then dies within the hospital, so the easiest thing for him to do was keep his own wife hidden away in the hospital and conduct experiments on her, which is very, very dark and grim. Whilst performing all these dark things on his own wife, cutting her, everything else, injecting her with poisons, nothing, there is no way for him to physically kill her, the only way he comes up with is destroying the nervous system, so stake through the heart, cutting off her head, general destruction of the brain, that sort of thing. That is the only way to kill him. They also find out that sunlight is another way to kill a Shiki. So, that being said, he then has one of the leaders, one of the people in this family that have moved into town. She comes in, she tries to turn him as well. By then, one of the other main characters has already died and counteracted any effects that she would have had. Now this is when you come into the end of the anime here, there's a few people that you believe to be main characters throughout it from the start. You believe that the little girl at the start, that she's the main character. It takes no time at all to realise that she's not. Then you've got Natsuno, who you believe to be a main character, and he is quite a big side character, but he is not the main character. The Doctor is in fact the main character. But Natsuno, he does everything he can to try and stop this thing. He just goes about it a slightly different way, and the best way to go about it was to in fact bite the Doctor before somebody else can. Now by doing that, nobody else then has power over him, so when the leader comes in from the big house, the big castle on the hill, she then comes in, tries to take control of it, and she thinks that she has. Then go out into public, where she believes that she has full control over him, and he acts as if she has, which then in end leads to her demise. She's then gets herself killed, she ends up dying, the villagers end up killing her, and that is finally proof that the villagers need that these things exist. Now from there they go on killing just about anybody else that they find who was turned. It is very, very dark at this point. It is very brutal. There is a lot of brutal deaths within it from here. And yeah, this is where I've now got the main problem, because all of that is absolutely fantastic. It is thrilling, absolutely gripping, and throughout all of those episodes you never know exactly who's going to die next. You never really know exactly where it's going, how they're going to stop this, until it gets right to the end, where all the villagers have turned, they're all looking for these Shikis, and you think that they've finally claimed back their town, they've got everything back. All these Shikis, they're now getting killed off, and it's slowly starting to come to a close. Now, this is where I've got a problem with it. You've got the main, well, the other main, you've got these three people. You've got the two, the couple that move into the mansion. You've got the special Shiki, and then you've also got the little girl daughter that they have. Now, she's already dead. Not the little girl daughter, should I say. The wife of the family, should I say. She is now dead. The villagers had killed her early on when they took her into the town. The let's call it the father of the family. He's then sat there with his sniper on the roof. He then also gets infected by Natsuno. He then kills a few of his own kind, and I'll explain what happens to him in a bit, but I'm not entirely happy with the way that his end comes. And then you've got the little girl who becomes friends with the priest. The priest then tries to save her, whilst the other special Shiki, who can actually go out in the day, tries to cause a diversion and save their lives. Now, in the same thing that whilst that's going on, he's trying to save their life and gets into a fight with Natsuno. They fall into a big hole. Natsuno's holding dynamite and he blows them both to smithereens. And do you see them die? No. Are you sure that they're dead? Not entirely. You just assume that from the blast from the dynamite that they're both dead. Now, you've got her, who has then befriended the priest. The priest is trying to save her, but then, because that is trying to save her, the entire town turns on him as well. He ends up dying and becoming a Shiki, and then their story ends when the little girl's finally had enough. She realises that all the wrong that she's done. She tries to kill herself, and then the priest, for some stupid reason, stops her, saves her, gets her out of town, and then you never know what happens to them. They both leave town and just sail off into the sunset. You never know whether they start a new Shiki colony somewhere else. You never know if they still end up dying. You have absolutely no clue what happens to them. Then there's a bunch of other Shikas that are still running around. The entire town gets set on fire, and you think most of them are dead, but then there's still some that it hasn't explained where they are or what happened to them, so that's just left as an open end. And whilst everything's on fire, the big castle on the hill has gone up in flames, and you see the guy with the sniper rifle that was taken control of by Natsuno just walk straight into the house that was on fire, and that's the last time you see him. Did he die? Who knows? He just casually strolled through the front door. He could have gone in, picked something up, walked straight back out. Who knows? Anything could have possibly happened there. So that's left unended. So is the priest and the girl. There's a few people out there that you have no idea about where they've disappeared to a Shiki. And then you've got Natsuno as well, who you don't know whether they both died in that hole, because it never actually showed anything. So basically what I'm saying is Shiki itself is absolutely fantastic. It is amazing, but the ending itself really, for me, really let it down, because you never really know what happened in it. There is so much stuff left open in it. Now, that being said, they could do another series, they could continue it on, but the way that they ended it, I don't think they will. So, who knows? We may get some more Shiki in the future. Very slim chances of it, but it is possible. So, that being said, I would definitely say anyone out there that's wanting to watch thriller and horror anime, that is definitely one to be watching. But you will come to your own opinions on the ending yourself. I just wasn't a big fan of it. So that being said, I think I will leave this here, and I will give this anime a rating of possibly 7.5, because I can't make my mind up. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. And the only reason why the rating is as low as it is because of the ending. There is so much left unsaid in that ending that I can't physically bring myself to give it anything more, and that is a real shame. So anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow for some very good walkthrough videos. I will see you this time next week for yet another Sunday review, and I want you all to be tuning in next week. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing, but I can tell you now, it's going to be fantastic. Also stay tuned on Wednesday for Gemma's video, because again she has some more great stuff coming up. Don't miss it. I'll see you guys later.